Okay, so now that I did the 2.5 hour episode on Daily Wire, let's do something a lot smaller, a lot shorter. Let's see how that goes. Because my poor laptop did not know what was coming. It did not know what was happening, and it didn't like uploading that stuff. So let's try something shorter. I've been wanting to do commentary on the Steven Crowder Ring video for a long time. And ever since it came out, it bothered me so much. Because again, like I said in the last video, I was a follower of Steven Crowder. I liked him a lot. I never joined Mug Club, and to be perfectly honest, it was because every once in a while that show would rub me the wrong way, and I didn't know why. Couldn't quite put my finger on it. And every once in a while, I would catch this little bit of darkness that I didn't like. It's so weird to say that in hindsight, but then this video comes out. And what happened was his wife at the time, they're getting a divorce now. Her name is Hillary, and she released this Ring video of her in the backyard talking to Steven in this very heated argument over whether or not she can take the car out. And effectively, the idea of it was to show that he was a problem, that this guy was something of a monster. And I think I have to agree with her. I think I have to agree with her. I know that a lot of people have been saying that it's taken out of context, that there's a lot of problems with just sort of taking this 3.5 minute video and turning it into, an interrogation of Steven Crowder's personal life. Here's my thing. I think ultimately the things that he's saying in this and the arguments that he's making are not making sense until you put them in the frame that he has narcissistic personality disorder. And I'm not talking about he's a narcissist. I'm not saying that he's a narcissistic person who cares a lot about himself too much and he's a little bit selfish. I mean, this may very well be somebody with the actual honest to God DSM-5 personality disorder. And it's inherent in a lot of the things that he's saying. It's inherent. What you have to understand about people with the actual PD is that they don't believe that anybody else is a person except as context to their personhood, if that makes any sense. So everybody ultimately is a satellite to them. And again, this sounds just like somebody who has narcissism. That makes sense, right? someone who is narcissistic, I should say. Somebody who is selfish, right? And that is true, but it is far stronger in somebody with personality disorder, where they don't even really see you as a person. They only see you as somebody who exists in their life. This is main character syndrome on steroids. It's so crazy. And you can see that in this video, honestly. And what I would probably guess is that Steven Crowder is what's called a covert narcissist. And that usually entails a sense by the narcissist that they are moral people, that they are like truly, that they, you tend to see a lot of like martyrdom complex type symptoms with them, where they're, people just don't understand what it's like to be them and how hard it is and what they're going through. And, an overt narcissist is more likely to just be a bully, to just be like a maniac who just straight out tells you that you're going to do what I say and you're going to do what I say because I say it. With covert narcissists, they will find ways to put themselves at the center of every situation. They enjoy the idea that they're not they are a normal person who got put into a situation where they were forced to be great, that they are greatness by the fact that they were born into this situation they never asked for. And they will do it in these very subtle ways. They will play with paperwork. They'll play with a lot of legal things. They'll get attorneys involved, or maybe they will link you to them financially. They will always put their name on pieces of paper that don't really need their name, right? And so this is why it's really difficult for someone, if this is true and Hillary really is dealing with an NPD. This is why it's so difficult to get away from these people. It takes years and years and years and years and years of climbing through all of these boundaries that have been set. Oh, I don't know where this or that is. And you have to do it. You have to do it so carefully with them, because you can't let them know that you're pulling away from them slowly, slowly, slowly. You have to cut all of these little strings before you can finally hit them with that divorce settlement or whatever, right? So I don't think that was happening at at the time that this video was taken. I think that Hillary was still trying to keep everything together, and that Stephen was making it very difficult for her to do that. So without further ado, let's get into it.
I drew a boundary. No, you just did it. I drew a boundary of abusive and cruel. You were not taking the car. Because if you refuse to do wifely things, then I will go pick up the groceries.
So already this is a weird setup, right? What he's claiming is that he drew a boundary, in that she was claiming that he was being abusive because he wouldn't let her take out the car. This is a really strange thing that's happening here, but what happens is over time we start to learn that for some reason Stephen wants the car. And the reason that he wants the car is because without it, he can't just go do whatever he wants. Meanwhile, we don't know why she wants the car, but we know that for some reason she can't have it. There are obvious questions here. And one of them is, why is there only one car? Why is there only one car? Now, maybe one of the cars is in the shop. I don't know. Maybe this is why I think that Stephen may very well be a covert narcissist, though, because this is what I was talking about, where what they will do is set things up so that they are always in control in this weird, nuanced little way. So if there's only one car and Stephen is just so busy that he always has to be in control of the car, and that's just a part of the culture of the household, he's always in control of where Hillary is. She's stuck at home, or she's reliant on him to get anywhere. And that means that he's always put back into the center of her life. Or she's got to go and beg for rides from other people. And what that means is that she gets sort of demeaned in some way. She's always got to be begging, her family, or maybe his parents, right? And what that's doing is that's setting her up as somebody who's constantly got to beg for her existence. Look at this house. Look at this gorgeous home that they have. Look at this little paradise. And you don't have two cars available to you? Even if one was at the shop, you couldn't have taken it to a place. These people are millionaires. You couldn't have taken it to a place that would have swapped you out a car? Where's the other car? So already this doesn't make sense and is setting off red flags.
I have steaks, wood pellets, my grill. I know it's an unreasonable request, but I'll go do it. How about you first? Hillary, how do you respect the man? Yes, other than that, you'll see the love comes back.
I have no idea what he's saying here. I don't know what this sentence is supposed to mean. I don't know if he's short circuiting. I've done this. I do this all the time. I'm sure I'll do it in recordings. It just sometimes things, you have this idea of what you want to say, and then it comes out, and maybe this means something to them, But what he's asking, for some reason, he wants her to get groceries, but also doesn't want her to get groceries. And in my opinion, what's happening here is what he's really saying is, I'm just throwing excuses out that you can't take the car out for whatever reason. And we'll see this come back around in a second.
No. I don't demand no, you're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You're not taking the car.
Stephen,
You are not
then
taking
I will ask them to pick me up. Would you like me to ask?
Oh, that's right.
It's not a threat, Stephen.
I have no idea what he's talking about here. I don't know what's going on now. A threat for what? That she's gonna cheat? Maybe. It's such a bizarre little moment for him. I think that shows how inferior he must feel for some reason. That if she were to take the car with somebody else, that he would lose that power, that the more she would be indebted to somebody else, or the more time she would spend with somebody else, that by the very nature of things, that he would sort of be shunted from the relationship somehow. This is all covert narcissism stuff.
Get an Uber.
Okay, Stephen, I can't.
Yeah, so this is also interesting, right? So he doesn't want her to go to friends or family or something like that. He wants her to get an Uber. I do wonder if the reason for that is that he doesn't want anybody that they know to know that she had to ask for a ride to wherever she's going. Because then the obvious questions come out. What if you got a phone call from your friend and she said, hey, can you come pick me up? These are millionaires, again, just for context, right? and you go, yeah, sure. What happened? Yeah, what's up? What happened to your car? And she goes, oh, my husband won't let me leave the house with the car. So I need you to pick me up. At what point would you start asking questions? Hey, how come I gotta pick you up? I'm happy to help, but why don't you have a car? That's pretty strange. Are you looking for a car? What? My buddy's got a used one he's interested in selling, right? Stephen doesn't want any of that. Stephen doesn't want any of that to happen. So what does he do? Oh, you got to call an Uber. You got to get a stranger. That's the only context in which that statement makes sense to me.
Feeling some constraints?
Stephen.
Like, I can't
Stephen.
go. Listen to me. You want to walk out right now? Listen to me. I can't go to the gym. I can't go to my parents. I can't call my friends. I can't be home. You're going to take the car and leave me here. Hillary, just think of how boxed in you've made.
I don't know what he's talking about here either. This is a guy with so much money that if he wanted to go literally anywhere, he has the money to buy. He has the money to get an Uber, go to a dealership, and buy a brand new car. No questions asked. All the options. What are you talking about? How boxed in you've made me by taking the one car? Why? Because you refuse to buy another one? I also like the little detail that, like, he didn't like that that he only had, the gym, his parents, or whatever, who knows what else he was thinking in his mind. So, like, he had to add, like, I can't stay at home either. As if, like, now he's just reaching. He has no idea what he's talking about.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either. Do you understand the difference between my life being set to the second and you going, I'll be back when I'm back?
Yeah, and look, I understand look, I have a lot of respect for the amount of work that Steven Crowder puts into his show. There is an incredible amount of work that has to go into a show that you do Monday to Thursday, pretty much 10 months out of the year. It's that's a political news show that has skits. To be honest, this doesn't look good visually because here he is smoking a cigar. You got to wonder, like, what time of day is this? What time in your life is this that you, as somebody who has so much to do, presumably has time to sit and argue with their wife about her taking the car out? Such a petty thing, such a small thing. And meanwhile, he's just chomping on a cigar. It's a bad look. It's a bad look. But beyond that, while he's probably right that his life does have some kind of limitation to it, this is where it all becomes sort of theoretical for the narcissist, where it's a principle thing. For narcissists, for some reason, a lot of their morals come from this sense that they are fighting for principle. And really what it is it turns into just an excuse to just constantly fight people. And what it does by default is it puts you into a position where you are never wrong, right? Because even if somebody were to say, hey, buddy, this doesn't make sense in this particular situation, the fallback that you always have as a narcissist at that point is to say, yeah, but I'm talking about the principle of the thing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter it's the principle of the thing. Don't you understand? And that's where they always end up sort of crawling into.
The only way out of it is discipline and respect. It's the only way out of it, and we're at an impasse.
We are at an impasse.
Good. Because you can't have any discipline or respect.
Yeah.
There you go. You throw your hand, you give up so easily.
I don't give up, Stephen.
You give up so easily. I just said the only way out of this is discipline and respect. You said, then we're at an impasse.
Stephen, no, we are at an impasse, okay? I love you, but Stephen, your abuse is sick. Your abuse
Watch it.
is sick.
Watch it.
Watch it or what? Watch it or what? I don't really understand this. The Steven Crowder group, they were making a lot of points about how this was taken out of context recently. What context? In what context would you say to your 8-month pregnant wife, watch it when she claimed that you were being abusive? What context would make that okay? What were you saying? What was the point you were making? The obvious question, as soon as you say that, is, watch it or else what? What are you going to do?
Fucking watch it.
I'm gonna let go. I'll get what you need me to get. And I need some space. We need to just stop engaging for a little bit.
This is pretty classic too. She still doesn't know what he wants her to get. Because everything, again, this is a principle problem, right? It's all about principle. This is a huge problem in conservative circles as well, by the way, when it comes to politics, is they cannot adapt to any specific situation. They end up doing a lot of fighting about general politics. But it's why they keep calling themselves like big picture issue people. Oh, I'm a big picture guy, And it's because of this bizarre sort of weird focus on principle. She has no idea what he wants. She has no clue what he wants her to get. So she keeps offering, she basically what she's saying is, look, I'm taking the car. I'll get whatever you want. Just let me know what, just can I have some time for me, please? Can I do something that I want to do, please, to relax? have some fun. What he's going to start telling her is, I think what he wants her to do is like stay at home and clean the house, which, you know, I don't know, man. Their backyard looks pretty clean. Maybe there is work to do on the house. There always is, but you know, maybe the inside of their house is just a disaster and she's a terrible wife or something like that. But what we're about to see is pretty extreme either way.
Okay, I love you. I love you very much.
I don't love you. That's the big problem. I've never received love from you. And
Wow. Okay. Can you imagine being a pregnant woman? You're 8 months pregnant with this guy's children. For some reason, he won't let you take the car out, and you're trying to have the grace that you were raised with as a Christian, presumably, and you're telling your husband that you love him, but that you guys have some kind of problem that needs to be worked out, and the response you get from your husband is, I've never loved you. And his reasoning is that ultimately, like, she's not doing the things that she's supposed to be doing. I guess my question at that point is, what the hell did you marry this person for in the beginning anyway? If there is context that needs to be filled in, what is the context that you think that your listeners should know about that would require you to respond to your wife with the words, I've never loved you? Not very Christian, is it?
fact is, when I go, look, I need you to do A, B, C, and D, you just be disciplined about it. You go, no, but I love you more than life itself. Okay, put on some gloves. No, but I love you more than life itself. That's not fair. That's not fair, and it's disingenuous. Hillary, you're right.
That, in a vacuum, that's probably true. I've dealt with that quite a bit myself, right? Where, you know, someone will tell you, oh, I love you so much, I love you so much, but they're just completely unwilling to actually act it out because they don't, right? That's really what he's saying here. What he's saying here is, you do not love me. It's interesting that he started with, I don't love you. If his point is, you don't love me, fair enough. Fair enough. Maybe she's a terrible wife, right? In theory, she could be a terrible wife. She's trying to take the car and go out and cheat on him or something. I don't know what, you know. I'm just trying to make something up here to make this make sense. And what he's really saying is, you need to stay at home and you need to be a wife to me. I'm working hard. I'm overwhelmed. I'm too busy. I understand that you're 8 months pregnant, but like, there are dishes in the sink. Can you do something? Maybe that's something that's going on here. Even then, the question becomes, my God, when you're this wealthy, you know, could you hire a maid for your 8-month wife or a pregnant wife? I don't know.
Right then, become someone, listen to me, day in and day out, worthy of a wife, no matter the.
This is a weird moment here. This is really spooky, right? Because one of the problems I've always had with Steven Crowder was that it always felt like he was taking too long and being too self-indulgent with the monologues. You know, because, you know, you would do the news story, and then it always felt like there was time set aside for him to sort of do the monologue, right? The conservative monologue. And, you know, it's that sort of soapbox. Don't you care about your country? Don't you care? Doesn't anybody understand what's going on? And it just, here he is doing it in his personal life. I always wondered about this, honestly, if these people really did do this in their personal life. And what you also have to wonder is how they feel about their viewership, right? Because if he's doing this to his wife and he's sort of gaslighting his wife this way, oh man, don't you feel like kind of a fool that you've been listening to this guy?
wife. I didn't say as a wife. I said as a wife. Hillary, come on now.
I'm not gonna engage. I'm not gonna engage anymore. I'm gonna go. I'll text me what you need. I'll get you what you need.
It's funny because the thing is, one of the biggest problems that I've always had with a lot of these conservative talking heads is that they don't have real policies, right? That they never come up with some kind of policy, or they never push some kind of a very specific agenda. And here he is. This is it. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about in real time. Here's Steven Crowder, and he's talking generalities. He can't even come up with reasons. He just came up with reasons A, B, C, and D. And she's got a real solution. Hey, I'll take the car, and while I'm out, I'll pick you up what you need. What do you need? Give me the thing that you'd like me to do. Tell me what to do. Tell me how to be a good wife. I want the policy. Tell me the policy. And what you'll see here, he won't do it.
I love you. I'm committed to you.
Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm not gonna.
Are you committed enough to do those things? You're not committed to anything. You're not committed to anything. You just said I love you. I'm committed to it. Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves.
I need to
Walk.
Stay in the house. Stay in the house is his big. You stay here. You stay here where I can control things. I don't like you going out. I don't like you talking to, this is the isolation technique that narcissists like to use, right? No. You don't talk to your parents. You don't talk to my parents. You don't talk to your friends. You don't go to anybody else. You get an Uber driver. You talk to strangers. If anything, if you go out, you get an Uber. You stay here. You stay in my circle of control.
Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things? Are you committed enough to do those things?
I'm gonna just
Walk the dogs. Put on some gloves. Are you committed enough to get the medication?
What bothers me about this too, it comes to mind that one of the major things that people have always complained about with Christianity and conservatism is this very thing. It's this very thing. And I have always said that while that happens, it's an abuse situation and should not be taken as some kind of cultural thing. It is not there is not an intrinsic culture of abuse and patriarchy and overwhelming anti-feminism in conservative circles and there isn't, by the way, that it is not true, but this looks so bad. And I think one of the things that really upset me about this, I think one of the things that sort of dragged me back to politics in a way, because by this time that this came out, I was pretty out. I was not happy with the way that a lot of conservatism had gone, and I was kind of upset about the fact that it felt like nothing was getting done. We were having victories, but it was really not due to these talking heads, right? That was my real concern. And here comes this video that confirms everything that I was concerned about with this guy. And we can stop this video here. I don't think that there's that much to deal with here. Yeah. So this is the end, and they don't put this into video, but he does scream, "I will fuck you up," and she leaves. Now the thing is, he doesn't. I guess you could say that for him. But I don't think he probably has never physically assaulted her. Covert narcissists tend, that's more of an overt narcissist thing. Covert narcissists tend to want to do those things, but they are not allowed to do those things by their own philosophy that says that they would never physically hurt you, but they aren't above pretending like they are sometimes to try, but it's only when their back's up against the wall. It's only when they are really, really scared that they're going to to lose this even small battle. That's another problem with for a lot of covert narcissists is that every single hill is a battle that needs to be fought, right? There is no give and take. It always has to, they always have to win somehow, and they got to walk away with something. They don't have to win the whole thing, but they got to walk away with something. And she's hitting him with reality here, which is I'm taking the car and I don't think there's anything you're going to do about that, and I'm willing to do everything that you want me to, but for some reason you want me to stay here at the house. And it's strange. It is. It's a strange thing. Look, I don't think that there's a context for this that makes sense, that makes this make sense. I understand that, when you look at the conservatives and how they deal with this, a lot of them have sided with Steven Crowder, and a lot of it comes down to the conservative talking point that the divorce courts and no-fault divorce has really destroyed not only our legal system, but our family system. And, the nuclear family is the basis of all things, which is true. And I also agree that ultimately the divorce courts favor women and are pushing men aside in a very major way. Having said that, we have got to be able to outwardly say and openly talk about the fact that sometimes, not every time, possibly not even most of the time, but sometimes, especially when you get evidence like this, it's exactly what it looks like. The man is abusive. Is he physically abusive? I don't think he is. I don't think that that's been ever said or claimed. I think that he is psychologically abusive. I think that this is somebody who is selfish. I think this is somebody who is narcissistic and sees everybody as a satellite. And you can see that in his former coworkers who have left, who are now having problems with him. I don't think they're all having legal trouble with him like Nake Jared is now. Nake Jared recently came out with, I think it was a lawsuit, and I think Crowder may have countersued. I think I might do a video on the official Crowder response to that, which, by the way, doesn't include Steven Crowder. Crowder didn't do it himself. What he did was he had his second in command, Gerald, do it, which is a very narcissistic thing to do. We'll be discussing that later. If I've got time, but man, this one bothered me. I wanted to get this out.